Hello, and welcome to the Global Studies News Network. I'm your host, Chris Getchell. Our top story tonight. Earlier today, someone stole all the wheels off the squad cars at the police station in Stillwater, Minnesota. A spokesperson for the station says, "The police have been working on this case tirelessly." Film at 11. And now, let's take a look at a new program that will be featured on the Global Studies News Network station this fall. Here's a preview. Hey, Glorilla, how you doing? What'd you find? A map? Oh, hey, come over here for a sec. You know anything about maps? Let me show you. You know what the thing about a map is? There's an important word to remember. Totals. TODALSF. You got it right there. Yeah. Oh, you're good. Great. So you know what the T stands for? Title. Right here. Title. You know what the O stands for? Orientation. Look at. You always find on a map. North, south, east, or west. Title, orientation. And then D stands for the date. When was the map made? Right up here. No, up here. Not there. Up here. Come on. Focus, Glorilla. Focus. All right. Title, orientation, date, and then the author. The author, you know who made this one? Right back here. Look at this. The Department of Tourism. Right there. All right. Oh, another orientation. Oh, Glorilla, you're so smart. You're figuring it out. All right. And then, title, orientation, date, author, and then the legend. How do you know what the symbols are? Look at right up here. It tells you what all the symbols are on the map. And then the scale. Do you think this is the actual size of Minnesota? No. It's a scale. So look at the scale is right here. It tells you how many miles are in 1 inch. Okay. And then the source. Where's the source? Well, it's real small, but it's right here. The Department of Transportation. So that's what total stands for. Title, orientation, date, author, legend, scale, source. There you go. You've learned something new today, Glorilla. All right, hey, Glorilla, would you do me a favor? Could you fold that up for me? Yeah, just fold her up. Go ahead. Oh, Glorilla, no. Let me show you. So easy, even a monkey can do it. Wow, wasn't that exciting? I'll be sure to tune in. And now it appears there's some controversy between political versus physical maps. Let's take a look. There are many, many different kinds of maps, but in general, all maps fall into one of two categories: political maps or physical maps. Let's take a look at those two types of maps. Political maps are designed to show government boundaries of countries and states. They can show the locations of cities and usually large bodies of water. Humans decide what is on a political map. Here you can see a political map of North America. You'll notice the boundaries of the different countries. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are the big three, plus all the Caribbean islands. But you can also see the states and the provinces of the different countries. And humans decided where those places are. So humans created the boundaries between our countries and around our states and provinces. Physical maps include a lot of that same kind of data, but instead of showing boundaries, their purpose is to show landforms like deserts, mountains, and plains. Their topography style presents an overall better picture of what the terrain is like. So here's a physical map of North America. And yes, we do see states and provinces marked on there. But since it's a physical map, you can see, for example, the Rocky Mountains. Humans didn't get to decide where the Rocky Mountains are. They may have named them, but they didn't get to decide where they are. Mother Nature chose where the Rocky Mountains are, along with many of the other physical features, or all of the other physical features that you see on this physical map. Now, not all maps are created equal. The Earth is round, and when you try to take something round and project it onto a flat surface, distortions will occur. This is one way that bias occurs in map making. People that make maps are called cartographers. Just as a journalist or an author gets to decide what is in their report or their story, so does a cartographer. This does not necessarily mean the map is wrong, but it can show bias as to what the cartographer thought was important to put on it. Look closely at this map from National Geographic. And then take a look closely at this map from Nystrom, an educational map company. There's one thing not included on the National Geographic map. Can you find it? You may have to go back and look at the bigger maps. Here's National Geographic. Here's Nystrom. Here they are side by side. You can always pause this presentation and back it up a little bit and pause it again to check out those two maps in a larger scale. But look closely. Did anyone find the difference between the map on the left and the map on the right? It's a little tricky, I'll give you that. And my hint is it's towards the bottom. All right, time's up. Look at the oceans towards the bottom of the maps. On some maps, cartographers include an ocean called the Southern Ocean, which is around Antarctica. Others do not. National Geographic does not include it. Nystrom does. Neither map is incorrect, but it is an excellent example of bias in maps. Well, I guess that answers that question. But how do we know what's on a map? Let's see if we can figure that out. Any map, whether it's physical or political, has certain common characteristics that you need to look for when looking at that map. The easiest way to remember is to think of totals. Todalss. Let's take a look at each letter. T. T stands for title. Here's a Minnesota map. It's actually a sectional map of Minnesota. It tells you the kind of map it is and where it is you're looking at. Why is it important? Well, if you need a Minnesota map and you have one in Wisconsin, that's not going to help you at all. Or if you're trying to find a road map to get somewhere, but you have a precipitation map in your hand, that won't help either. So it's important to look at the title to make sure you have the correct map and the correct type of map that you'd like. O. O stands for orientation. It's the compass on a map. Look at the top right corner. This shows you which way north is. In general, all maps are oriented, so north is at the top of the map. This isn't necessarily, cartographers don't have to follow that rule, but generally they all do because if they all chose their own direction to orient the map, it could get very confusing. So always find where north is, and in general, north points to the top of the map. D stands for date. It tells you when the map was made. Why is that important? Well, if you have a map that's out of date, it could give you the wrong direction, it could show you things that aren't there anymore, or there could be things that have added that are in your way. Who knows? But if a map was created 100 years ago, chances are things have changed today. And you know what? Especially political, things change all the time. There are 2 new countries added, I think, since 2007 on our globe. So our global map has changed as well. It changed in the late 80s and early 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed. The entire global map changed politically, and all the maps in our schools had to be redone. A stands for author. Okay, who created the map? We talked earlier today about bias. Okay, and so that's important to know who created the map so you have an understanding of what it is you're seeing and if there may be bias in the map. L stands for the legend or the key. This tells you what the map symbols and colors mean on a map. This is important because it helps you read the map so you can understand what it is you're looking at and if you need to find something, where it is on the map. The first S stands for scale. This tells you distances. You can see on the bottom right corner of this map, it shows you the distance. For example, 1 inch is equal, it looks like, to about 20 miles on this map. And so if you want to figure out how far one place is from another, you use the scale on a map. And this could be in miles or kilometers. But it's important to know that because, you need to know on a map because when it's drawn to scale, things can appear closer than they actually are. And if you measure, it can give you a really good idea of the distance from one spot to another. And the second map, or S, stands for source. Source means who created the map. Here it was the World Atlas. But, you know, that could be important because, for example, the maps we saw earlier, Nystrom and National Geographic, whoever published it gets to decide what they put on the map. And so it could change from publisher to publisher or cartographer to cartographer. So it's important to know the source of your map and where it came from. Okay, that's totals. Thanks for watching. Well, now I totally get it. Until tomorrow, good day and good news.